Sims, you say your mother and your alleged father intentionally deceived you for 36 years by claiming that Mr. Johnson is your biological father. You are suing them for paternity fraud because you claim to have proof that you are not his daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, you say you have always believed Mr. Johnson is your daughter's father, and you intend to prove it today. Is that correct?
That's true.
Ms. Sims, so what do you mean they deceived you?
Well, for my whole life, I've always thought that Henry, my dad, is my dad. And I just have a multitude of things that have come up that show me that he potentially could not be, including my health and my daughter's health, where we don't have any family history that is consistent throughout the family of my dad's family.
And so what does that feel like to be lied to feel like you've been deceived your whole life?
I mean, it's distressing. I mean, because it doesn't only affect me, but my own offspring. So I'm upset about it, and I'm very disappointed, but I don't know what else to say about it.
All right, Ms. Smith, your daughter says you misled her. How do you respond to that?
I never intentionally lied to her a day in her life. So where she's coming up with this, I don't know.
Ms. Sims, you grew up a daddy's girl.
Right, definitely a daddy's girl.
With a wonderful relationship with the man you were told was your biological father.
Absolutely.
Can you talk to the court about that?
Yes, my dad I met my dad when I was 4 years old. So, I mean, a little later than most people, but after I was introduced to him, I spent a lot of time with him. He made me who I am today. He made me strong. He made me very, very responsible. He was the person that definitely encouraged me to be a better person always. So yes, I'm definitely a daddy's girl.
And Mr. Johnson, you have great memories with your daughter.
Yes, I do. I remember taking her out to eat. We sit there and talk for hours and help them with her schoolwork, personal problems. I just tried to be the best dad I could.
Mr. Johnson, how has your relationship changed since this paternity issue has come to light?
I've always known there were some doubts, but I never mentioned it to her because I didn't see any reason for it. Maybe she has less trust in me now, but it doesn't affect the way I feel about her.
You say you feel like she may have less trust in you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
I mean, in a small aspect, yes. I mean, my mom and my dad, because together they raised me. So together they knew that there was an opportunity that someone else could be my biological father, and it was never a topic of conversation.
So specifically, what happened that made you realize that there could be another possibility?
So in 2001, I was diagnosed with lupus. And you know how when you go through your physical, like they say, give me your family history and things of that nature, where I have no autoimmune disorders on either side of my mother or father's family. And so I just rolled that out. Throughout that, I went to nursing school and I became a nurse. And with more research and really understanding the disease process, I realized that it could be hereditary, and there could be some background to the things that are wrong. And then a couple of years ago, my daughter here, she began to start having some physical health ailments. And I'm like, this is very in line with my my time frame of age and everything, and we just don't have that. So at that point, it's like, I need to find out the truth.
So what do you say to your mother when you get this information and you say, I don't see these medical issues on either side of my family tree? What do you say to your mom?
Well, I actually talked to my dad first because, you don't ever want to, insult anyone or anything like that. And I actually talked to my dad about it. And my dad kind of was like, well, yeah, I kind of agree that there may be, a chance that you're not mine. And I will support you to look for, look for your person.
How long ago was this?
Like, I want to say a year, a little bit more than a year.
Okay.
And so that shocked me. And I was just like, that's a big pill to swallow, when your dad actually does know that he could potentially not be your dad and has never mentioned it, right?
So, Ms. Smith, do you remember when your daughter came to you and spoke to you about the possibility she may have another father, and is there something you hadn't told her?
she was FaceTiming me on the phone, and when she mentioned it, she was laughing and giggling, so I thought she was joking. I didn't read anything into it and didn't say anything about it, so.
So do you remember that conversation, Miss Sims? What did you say to your mother, and why did she say you were laughing?
My husband and I were sitting on the sofa, and I'm video chatting because we live in separate states. And I was like, Mom, you know, is my dad my dad? And she was like, kind of gave me like the, I don't know, or the, you know.
Blow off, kind of blew it off.
Yeah, and that kind of was like, oh my gosh, because this is the person that should be 100% sure.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, Miss Smith, Mr. Johnson, did you finally just admit that there's another possibility?
Yes, there is a possibility.
And so, what's your relationship? How did you two meet?
We both had the same job. We were cab drivers. When you're idle, you sit on a cab stand until you get a call. And we happened to be on the same cab stand at the same time. And we ended up talking across each other. We ended up getting acquainted and ended up being friends. And then after we got to be friends, you know, she'd come visit. We play music and talk and dump our problems on each other and stuff like that. It just went farther.
Kind of got serious.
Yeah.
You all became, did you become a couple? Did you?
No, we did not become a couple. She was already in a relationship.
Oh, so that's why you say you get together, play the music, and dump your problems on one another.
Yeah.
I understand now. But at some point it became sexual, or you would not believe you were a possibility.
That's right.
So how long did the sexual relationship last?
One day.
Oh, just one day?
Yes, one day.
So why did you look at him like that, Miss Smith?
Apparently my mind ain't working right for me.
Why? You say it's more than one day?
Definitely.
So, Mr. Johnson, what do you remember? You say you only had sex with Miss Smith one time?
We were seeing each other for about 2 months as friends. One day we took a shower together and we ended up in the bed having sex.
Did you know she was in another relationship at the time?
Yes, I did. That's why it took me so long.
Oh, that's why you didn't try to have sex with her sooner, but then this day after the shower, all bets were off.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, if you could have seen your daughter's face when you said you all took a shower together. No kid wants to hear that, right?
Right.
So, Miss Smith, how soon after the sexual encounter with Mr. Johnson did you find out you were pregnant?
2 to 3 months.
So about 2 to 3 months after that, what did you do with that information? Who did you tell?
I told him I was pregnant, and I told my ex I was pregnant.
Okay, so at that point, as a young woman, you realized you were in a question of paternity situation. You told both men, I'm pregnant, you may be the father.
I didn't say all that. I just said that I was pregnant. Everybody
So
knew
did
I was
they ask
pregnant.
you, were they the father?
No.
Oh.
Henry and I, soon as I found out I was pregnant, we cut it off.
Oh, okay. I need to ask you, Miss Sims, did you ever hear about this other person?
So never directly about the other person, but there were lots of things in my life that were consistent with another person.
Can you explain some of those things?
Absolutely. One, my last name was, and my dad's last name is Johnson.
Right.
Secondly, my birth certificate has someone else's name on it besides my dad.
It does?
It does.
Your birth certificate reads your name, your mother's name, and then for the father's name, there is another man's name. It's not Henry Johnson.
Not Henry Johnson.
So you had a name.
Yes, I had a name. And I mean, the way it's explained to us, or to me, is that that was just an ex, you know, and consistently, me and my siblings all had the same last name. So, you know, growing up, it wasn't as big a deal because we still all had the same name. And my mom just said, well, I gave you my name, my last name. So that was definitely a huge, huge factor.
So, Miss Smith, obviously you thought it was your ex's child, and you gave your daughter his last name, right?
In the beginning, yes, I did.
And then when did you realize it could be Mr. Johnson's, that he could be your daughter's biological father?
When she got to be about 2 months old, the pictures and everything about her mannerism were like Henry's. And so in my mind, Henry was her father.
I didn't meet my dad until I was 4. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yes, it does.
Well, we were estranged. We met up every once in a while in high and by passing, because he was in relationships, I was in relationships, so it wasn't like there was a great big conversation piece going on at that point.
So, Ms. Smith, at what point did you decide to tell Mr. Johnson he is her father, or that he was the other possibility?
She was getting older, and I figured it was time for him to get to spend time with her and meet her. And I just said she needs her father in her life.
And so, Ms. Sims, you just said out loud, but I didn't meet my father till I was 4. Mr. Johnson, take me to the day you met her.
Her mom had contacted me and told me that I had a daughter, that Quiata was my daughter. I went to meet her, and we walked in the house, and she asked me, "Are you my daddy?" And I said no, because I did not know what her mom had told her.
Okay.
But when she went in the room crying, I went in after her and said, I actually said, "I didn't know what your mom was going to tell you, but I'm your daddy," and she's been my daughter ever since.
Yes, it has.
So, Mr. Johnson, you submitted a calendar to the court to explain how this question of paternity got to be so confusing. You remember being intimate with Ms. Smith in November or December?
Late November or early December is when we were intimate. And it's a possibility there that I was the father, and I had to step up.
Understood. When were you born?
August 7th, 1978.
Okay, so you were born in August, but you said it was the end of November, early December. That puts us right about 8.5 months, right around there. The bottom line is, when you count back, it does put your encounter with Mr. Johnson within a questionable window as it relates to paternity. So, Ms. Sims, tell the court how much this resolution means to you.
It means a lot to me. Like, once again, I said, I'm a nurse and a mom. And just with my knowledge of the medical history and background, it's important for me to identify, if my dad's not my dad, if there's someone else and I can kind of trace their history to see if there's other genetic diseases that I need to be worried about. Also, my daughter may one day want to have a family too, and is it something that she should be worried about? Also, I've already lost one child. I do not want to lose another one to something that I can, avoid by just a little bit of information and doing things before it happens versus hindsight.
All right. Well, the only way we can begin to see how to move forward is to get these results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Sims versus Smith Johnson, when it comes to 40-year-old Quiata Sims, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Johnson, you are the father. That's your baby girl.
Yeah.
That feels good.
Yes.
How do you feel, Miss Sims?
I feel really good because I didn't want him not to be, but I just knew that there was a possibility. And I guess things that happen medically, this must have just started with me. So it's okay.
So this is such a wonderful story. I'm so happy. I see the tears, Mr. Johnson. What do you feel?
Happy.
Ms. Sales, you claim that you and the defendant, Mr. Jackson, were in a serious relationship and it was his idea to have a baby. But now that your 3-year-old daughter, Micaiah, is here, he denies being her father. You want him to step up and take care of his daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, you claim that Miss Sales is a former side chick who is trying to pin a baby on you only because she wants you back in her life. You are certain you are not her daughter's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Sales, explain why you opened your case today.
I opened my case today because I was with D'Amico for 5 years. We were in a relationship. We had our baby, and now because he sits up and talks to his family, now he feels like that is not his child. Since the day my daughter was born, because she was light-skinned with gray eyes, that was not his child because I'm too dark to have a light-skinned baby.
Mr. Jackson, she said you were in a 5-year relationship. Is that true?
No, ma'am.
So what were we doing, Miko?
What were you doing?
Huh?
You know, she was like my side woman.
Your side woman.
She was your side woman.
Miko, you gonna stand here
So
and lie?
it's your testimony you weren't in a relationship at all.
I mean, we had a relationship, but it wasn't serious. You know, we was just, you know.
You left your ex to come be with me. How was we not in a relationship?
It was more of, you know, she had great sex.
Oh, I put it on him and he could never leave.
I mean, it happens like that, you know, Jan, it happens like that, you know. It was just...
So you're saying you were only with her for a sexual relationship?
She was my side woman.
So did you make that clear, or were you making her feel like she was your real woman, but really you were just having a side woman?
She was just my side woman. I made it clear to her before. She understood.
Stop lying. He came to my house every single day. He lived at my house every single day.
But, you know, regardless, you could still make a baby even though she might have been your side woman. I mean, none of that prevents you from becoming a father.
Yes, but I wasn't the only man that was smashing it.
He's lying. He was the only person that I was messing with, the only person I had been with for a year before I even got pregnant. So again, he's lying.
How long did this last? How long did it go on for?
When I first met him, I had moved out of town, so we had, you know, lost contact. That's when he met his ex and they got in a relationship. When I moved back in town, he never let me know about this relationship he had. I found out because a friend of mine told me that he had a girl. He never said anything to me about it. And by the time he actually started trying to confess that he had a girlfriend, we had already been together for 6 to 8 months, already having sex with each other, unprotected, on the regular. Like, he's a sorry liar, period.
So, Mr. Jackson, take me to the point when you find out this woman who you say is your side woman is pregnant. When did you find that out?
Like, what you mean, like what?
Just what I asked. When did you find out Miss Sales was pregnant?
I found out Miss Sales was pregnant, what was that, I say August, a month later, something like that.
And so take me to that day. How did she tell you?
First we went in, she had a situation with her urinals, stuff like that, a problem.
So you went to the hospital for something else?
Yes, ma'am.
I went to the doctor because I had a cyst ruptured in my stomach, so I had to go to the hospital because I was very sick. He went with me, but he was my side piece, right? But he took me and went with me to the hospital. So I was getting a lot of tests ran and things done to me. They was telling me no, I wasn't pregnant at the time because I had polyps. So the nurse explained that it was really hard for me to get pregnant and my chances was very slim. But at the time, I had already gotten off of birth control and was trying to have a baby with him. So we had sex at the hospital that same night. And then...
In the hospital?
And then...
While you were there for the polyps?
Yeah, so after they, you know, got me together and got my body together, yeah, believe me, it wasn't that.
Negative, yeah.
Oh, you say that's not true? Okay, I'm gonna come to you in a minute. What happened next, Miss Sales?
So after that, I ended up going home. I, again, knew I was not pregnant. In October, I went to the doctor, and that's when I found out that I was 6 weeks pregnant. So at the time of the doctor's visit at the end of August, no, I was not pregnant. But again, we had sex at the hospital that same night and would have sex every day on the regular. So, of course, it wasn't that hard for me to conceive within the next week or two by him.
So, yeah, Mr. Jackson, it sounds like you all were a side woman, main woman, whatever it was to you. It sounds like you all were having a lot of sex.
Yeah.
And so if you were having that much sex...
It was good.
So, listen, I'm not asking about the quality.
Yes, ma'am.
I made a comment on the quantity, even though we know it only takes once anyway. It seems like you were in a steady sexual relationship with Ms. Sales. So why is it you think you can't be Ma'Khia's biological father? It seems like you at least a possibility.
Your Honor, one day I was on my family member house doing some work with him, and a friend of us called and said that they seen her in a car with some light-skinned guy with dreads and say this who she been seeing. It's a possibility could be her baby daddy or anything like that. This was told to me.
That's a lie.
Yes, and a lot of people in the car and told me that she was riding around with this cat.
Oh, people have seen her in the car riding around with this guy.
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. True story.
So, Ms. Sales?
His ex was the one who's supposed to saw me riding in the car.
I also seen messages.
Jealous and want him back at all times, so she'll tell him any lie that she can find. I saw Ashley with this guy. Ashley was riding around with him.
Your Honor,
Ashley be outside just so he can sit there and say,
I also
okay.
seen messages of her going back and forth with the guy, but...
What did the messages say?
It was more like, I guess, he already had a baby or something like that. I guess she was trying to come clean about she supposed to be pregnant. It could be a possibility, mine's or his.
Oh, so you saw an exchange of messages?
Yes, ma'am.
Talking about the pregnancy. And the paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you saw that, did you confront her?
I confronted her, but just like any other woman, they gonna lie and deny it.
Why you gonna stand here and lie?
It was so long ago, I don't remember a lot.
Lie. I've never had a conversation with nobody about my daughter besides this man. He is lying.
So what about the guy with the locks?
A random person he found on my messenger that I guess had said, "What's up, sexy? Hey, baby." One of the extra 100 guys that do that too, and he picked that one out because he was light-skinned.
Oh, so you're saying he concocted the cheating story after Ma'Khia was born?
Yeah.
Based upon her skin color?
Yes.
Timeline doesn't add up.
He is lying, but all right.
So the timeline doesn't add up. So you actually submitted a calendar to the court to outline your doubts as it relates to the timeline.
Yes,
Can you step up to the monitor, please?
I broke up with Ms. Sales June. I got back with my ex July. We went to the hospital in August to check about her uterus because she had problems. I did not know she was pregnant until like a month or two later. That's when she told me she was pregnant.
So when do you finally find out Ms. Sales is pregnant?
It's around like September.
There it is, September.
Yes, ma'am.
The last week.
Yes, ma'am.
Outlined in hot pink.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'Khia was born in May, on May 9th.
Yes, ma'am.
So is it your testimony that you didn't have sex from June when you broke up with Miss Sales all the way in July, nor in August, nor in September?
He's lying. He just said he loved it. Why would he stop? He is lying. He is lying.
I mean, he looked like he lying. I don't even have to say it.
Your Honor, don't judge a book by its cover, Your Honor. I'm telling the truth.
I'm not judging a book by its cover. I'm judging a book by its body language, its crooked smile, and the fact that you're sitting up here lying.
No, Your Honor, I ain't lying about that. It's just... That's crazy.
Jerome, can you change this calendar and just highlight the whole year of when Mr. Jackson was having sex with Miss Sales?
Yeah.
No.
Go on back to the podium, boy. You can get on my nerves now. It's a waste of time. You brought a witness, Mr. Jackson. Please stand, ma'am. State your name for the court, please.
Darnisha Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, you are what relation to Mr. Jackson?
I am D'Amico's oldest sister.
You are his oldest sister. All right. I'd like to know what you know about this situation.
D'Amico called me crying one night because he said Ashley admitted to him that she had slept with a light-skinned dude with dreads, and there's a possibility that Ma'Khia might not be his.
And what did you tell your brother, Ms. Jackson?
I just told him to take a DNA test, which he said he tried to take one.
Ashley had, faked the fallout, started crying, things like that. So we had to leave.
I drove up there. It was my car. How did I not want to take the DNA
We had
test?
to leave, so.
How do you fake a fallout?
She started crying outside the
broke
building
down
because she
crying.
didn't want to take
Was
the
you
DNA
standing
test.
there for you?
No,
I was
he
crying?
told me.
I don't never cry for one. I'm not an emotional
do.
person at all. Girl,
You a
please, you ain't
female.
never
Yes,
seen me
you
cry.
do.
Again, I barely cry in his face. So again, like I
Okay,
said,
Ashley.
I don't got no reason to cry.
Also,
He got his
Your
feelings.
Honor.
So wait, hold on. Before we go into all this nonsense of what you did and I want to know what happened.
Yes,
I want you to be specific and tell me what did she do?
We was on our way going there, you know, we was a few blocks away whatsoever. She started crying. I guess she seen me more serious about it, because I've been saying I supposed to been getting a DNA test for a while.
And did you all ever park and get out the car and go towards the courthouse?
We did.
And then what happened?
We left.
Why?
It was just too much at the time.
What do you mean too much?
This lie is too much.
I
We
wonder,
got to the building.
Listen, Your Honor,
This lie is
listen,
what's
Your Honor,
too
I
much.
wonder, first of all, I'm sensitive myself. So I wanted to take it, but I also wanted to listen to what she had to say at the end of the day, because
So what is she saying to you while she's crying?
she was just saying that, I'm wrong for doing this, I'm not right for doing this, like, I should believe her.
And because you're such a nice, sweet, humble young man,
Yes, Your Honor.
you just decided, I don't want to hurt this young woman's feelings, and I'd rather just not take the DNA test today, not get the answer as it relates to the paternity of Micaiah, and go back home to Miss Sales to only have sex with her and continue to devalue her
No, Your
for
Honor, it
another
wasn't.
2 years.
Like I said, on certain ends it was about the sex, but later on in life, I got closer to her daughter, so I didn't want to find it out at the time. I just didn't want to find it out. And I seen her break down, so it really made me like, I could be tripping.
Sounds like you did care about Miss Sales.
I cared about it a little bit, but not too much.
I'm confused. You ain't finna keep standing here talking about
Man,
something.
listen,
It was
Your
about
Honor.
some sex.
Hold on.
In love since the day you met me. What are
Man,
you saying?
come on,
That's
Your
why you
Honor.
left your ex to come be with me, because you couldn't get enough of being around me. What are you talking about? Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for the results now.
What she doing?
Drove?
Wow.
You got
You're
it.
doing too much stunting. Don't come here stunting. You could have just
Man.
came
Miss
here
Sales.
and said
I'm
you
talking
didn't
to
feel
the
like it was your
judge.
baby.
Okay,
but you be a man.
Let's get some order. Miss Sales, I do believe Mr. Jackson was playing both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's because he didn't enjoy being with you. I think he did, and I think he cared about you. You don't go sit at hospitals with your side chick. You were not committed, and yet you all were very connected in the sense you spent a lot of time
Yeah,
together.
we played house, I guess.
Right.
Oh, she looked just like you on
know,
the pictures.
I feel like there's a possibility
Girl,
that.
do you know who your baby daddy is?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yes,
but
I
okay.
do.
No, you don't.
Yes,
I feel
do.
like a possibility
don't.
that
Yes, I do. You
it's
just
not my
mad because
baby.
you was a side chick.
You,
and you
girl,
know
you just mad
was.
because your baby they never claimed you.
Yes.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on.
You don't know
I was
my
there,
baby
remember?
daddy.
Hold on. Miss
Chill out.
Sales, you got a lot of mouth for everybody, but you ain't gonna have a lot of mouth for me. And if what you're saying is true, that envelope is gonna validate it. You don't have to act a fool for it.
Again,
Because
okay.
you don't have to act a fool for the truth.
Yeah, you.
You act a fool for a lie. I'm ready for the results.
Yeah.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Sales versus Jackson, when it comes to 3-year-old Micaiah Jackson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Jackson, you are the father.
Now I know who my baby daddy is.
Miss Sales, you don't have to do that. I don't run no circus, and I don't need no clowns.
I understand.
We're talking about a baby. She should know who you are.
She know who I am.
She don't need no side daddy. She needs the daddy that is going to be protecting her. She needs the daddy that's going to carry the world on his shoulders for her. And Miss Sales, I'm going to be honest. I get it. I see your tears. I know you say you're not emotional. I get all that. You're a woman first. You are not the only person that loved the wrong man too long. and you don't want to raise Micaiah thinking that's acceptable as well.
Surely don't.